That is amazing. Oh, that was nice and hot. The good people at Joolca were kind enough to send me this Joolca Hottap V2 on-demand hot water shower system. I'm very happy to go over the workings of this system, but I'm going to focus on this ultimate on-demand hot water shower system setup for the Jeep Wrangler. There won't be a shower scene at the end, but I'll talk about that. So stick around. Hello and welcome to CheaperJeeperTV. I'm Dino, your host. I'm so glad to see you here, and I'm really excited to show you how I've set up the Joolca Hottap V2 on-demand hot water shower system. This is especially set up here on my Jeep Wrangler, and I just want to explain some of the pros and cons. It's mostly all pros to this setup. I'm really excited about the opportunity it affords when you go camping in your Jeep. Now, first let's have a look and see what exactly is the Hottap V2. Well, it's an on-demand hot water shower system, and when you look at this unboxing, you can see all the elements involved in the unit. You have, of course, the on-demand hot water system. You have these legs where you could just set it up here on the ground and use it set up that way. You've got some hoses. You got the blue hoses representing where you've got cold water going through the system, and the red hose represents where the hot water is flowing through the system. It comes with a shower head with a control stick where you can turn it on and off, and there's even a magnetic component where you can attach the shower head somewhere metal on your vehicle. Now, the Jeep Wrangler is aluminum, but it does not pose a problem in this setup, and I'm going to demonstrate that as well. Now, for this system to work, you do have to have a water source. For example, it could be a pail, it could be a jerry can, or even a bucket. It doesn't matter. And as you can see in these images here, where I go up in Northern Ontario, we often camp near a water source. And in scenarios like that, this Joolca Hottap V2 system will even work if you're 100 feet away from the system. You just have to run a hose, and the pump will pump a distance of 100 feet to the Hottap V2 system. And of course, you're going to need a fuel source, and in my case, I use the propane tank that I have strapped to the spare tire using the Adventure Trail Gear 5-pound strapping system. It's been a useful piece of kit that I've used whenever I go camping. And then finally, a 12-volt source, and that is inside the Jeep. But technically, as I show you here, I've got the whole system outside of the Jeep, which is a good thing, because when you're going camping, you know that there's all kinds of gear that you need to bring along. In this video here, you can see all the things I pack when I go camping. Well, bringing along an on-demand hot water shower system might take up a lot of space unless you set it up this way. Yeah, in this way, you can have everything mounted on the outside of your Jeep, and it doesn't look too cumbersome at all. Let's have a close look at the setup. You can see on the B-roll that I'm showing you right now, there's the cover that I've got mounted here on the hot water system right now. What's nice about the cover is if you do mount the system on the outside, this cover will protect it from rain and dust that you would encounter when you're driving along those forestry roads, for example. And if you do want to keep this mounted on the outside, you need to protect it from the dust, because the dust and the sprays of water would get on the internal workings and it'll harm the unit. So the protective cover is a must if you wanted to keep something like this mounted on the outside. And the next thing that you see on the B-roll is the Joolca mounting bracket. That's something that's relatively new out from Joolca, and it helps you mount the hot water system to some kind of rack, either on your Jeep Gladiator, or as you can see here, on this MOLLE panel on the outside of my Jeep. Now, I've done 2 videos on MOLLE panels. You can see this one here, and then there's this one, which is the current one on the Jeep. What I like about this recent one is that it has a panel that slips down, so it forms like a table, but it gives you some storage options on the inside, which plays a pivotal role in this setup. Now, once you have the bracket and the cover securely mounted to the holes that fortunately match with the holes that are in the MOLLE panel, you could just secure the Hottap V2 to the mounting bracket and then just zip up the cover, and now you've got the unit secured to the side of the Jeep like you see here. But now here's the special thing about this setup. It's not that it's just mounting the on-demand hot water shower system to the outside, but it completely contains everything you need right in this space. Let's have a look. You can see, even though the Hottap V2 has a bit of depth, it doesn't impact the fender here of the Jeep, and you've got everything you need on the outside of the Jeep to run this, and it's immediately accessible to you. For example, this happens to be the 12-volt pump. Now, this 12-volt pump has a switch and a port to plug in your 12-volt source underneath, and then this is the hose that would feed water into the pump, and then this is the filter that would go into your water source. So for example, if I'm camping up near a river, this could go right into a river and it has the filter on the end. Or if I have a jug or a pail, I could just simply immerse this into that water source. And if the water source is between here and within 100 feet, I could use a hose because the pump can handle that. So I'll just use this water source right here, and then use the quick connect. And then I use the other cold water hose to come out of the pump. Here's the shower wand. This is the 12-volt plug. The battery currently is in the Jeep, but Joolca also sells a smaller compact version of a 12-volt battery that would fit in this space. And then this is the propane line that goes to the propane tank. And now all I have to do is remove the protective cover. You can see it just comes like that. I can detach it. And then this is the hot water hose. It does come with a longer one, so depending on your setup, if you have one of those shower tents that you want to use set up nearby, you've got a long enough hose to run it to there. You could also mount this somewhere else. The focus on this video is how you can have everything easily, immediately accessible to you right here at the side of the Jeep. So I'll just take this blue hose, connect it to the blue quick connect at the bottom. And if you didn't want all this hose hanging around, there's lots of space up in the MOLLE panel that you could just put it. And then this is the shorter of the red hoses, so we'll use this for the hot water. It also comes with these connectors where you can have an extension and just use it as an adapter. Now it's connected there, and then it connects to the shower wand. Now the head is adjustable. You could, for example, just connect it to the side of the shower unit right here. You could connect it to the front of the shower unit. You could connect it to the MOLLE panel. You could connect it to the side of the MOLLE panel. So very flexible, very usable. I'm pretty excited about how well this works. So now all we have to do is plug the power cord into the base of the pump, as well as the power station that currently is in the Jeep. So now what I'll do is connect the propane hose. I got the power source coming out of the back window going to the pump. The pump has been turned on. I currently will just have the propane down to say to low, and I'll bring the water level to low. And then here's the wand that I could take off the magnetic base if I wanted. And then there's an on-off switch. So unlike some other showers where you can't turn off the pump from the wand, in the Joolca Hottap V2 you can. So let's turn it on. Now it's hot. That's hot water coming out right now. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. Oh, that was nice and hot. Okay. So I could turn on more flow to the shower. I could also reduce the amount of gas. So depending on what you want, you could play with it and find that sweet spot for you. And once you're at camp and you've got it set, you could just leave it that way and then just turn it on and have beautiful, instant, really hot water coming out of there right now. And when you're done, you could just slap it up like this, and it's ready to be used in any way that you want to use it. If you want hot water to wash your dishes or even rinse your dishes, where's Lenny? But for me, and most importantly, it's easy access and easy implementation when you want to have hot water to wash with. Showers in particular, especially when I'm on those trips where I'm off for a week, we're on Crown land, and if you have a river nearby, the only thing limiting how long you make your shower is how much propane you have and how much longer your 12-volt power station will last. And if you have solar panels, well, that can go on for a while. So really, it's the propane tank. Now, in this setup, everything is stationed right here. And if you get the Joolca battery, that could be put in here as well. And then if you have the propane mounted outside, that's outside. So everything for this will not take up any space in your Jeep because you'll have your other gear to worry about. And if you use the CheaperJeeperTV sleeping camping platform, you'll be all set up with that in there. So you don't necessarily want to add more to the inside. Well, when this gets put away, it's a really nice compact unit. Everything is situated right here, ready for immediate implementation. I'm pretty excited about this, and I'm looking forward to using this when I do those long fishing camping trips out of my Jeep. There's all kinds of ways. I just really wanted to show you this setup because to me it's a very efficient and easy to implement hot water shower system. I'm pretty impressed with how immediate the hot water came out of the wand too. And I think having a MOLLE panel like this is very helpful, not just to be mounting it like this, but to carry it and store everything. And now what I'm going to do is just show you how everything can get packed away. So from having everything like this to just getting it packed away and ready for the road. So as you can see, as you begin to unpack it, all the water starts coming out of the hoses, and you definitely want to let the water out of the unit, especially if you're near winter time, that sort of thing, because you do not want to allow the water to freeze inside the unit because some of the pipes in the heating manifold could freeze, expand, and break. So definitely be careful of that. And I'm just mentioning all this because this is another advantage to having everything mounted outside. You don't have to worry about water dripping on the inside of your Jeep. Okay, let's finish taking this apart. So I'll just straighten out the wand, put it right there. The cable they give you for the power station is super long, so just in case you have your pump located far away and you need to have reach from your power station, you have that flexibility in that they've given you a long cable. Now the power cable you can keep with your power station. I'm just demonstrating how it'll still fit in here. Similarly, on the Adventure Trail Gear 5-pound propane bag, they do have a pocket for your propane hose if you wanted to keep it in there. But again, just for the demonstration purposes, I wanted to show you how it'll still fit in this setup here. So basically, here is the on-demand hot water system shower unit. And then here is the pump. This is the power cable for the pump, the incoming cold water hose, the outgoing cold water hose, which goes to the unit. And then here's the hot water outgoing hose that goes to the shower head. And then there's the cable to the propane tank, and the propane tank is there. Almost everything is on the outside of the Jeep. The only thing that's not outside is the power station, which I use on the inside of the Jeep for things like my 12-volt fridge and that sort of thing. But if I wanted to, I can get a small enough one off the Joolca website, which would fit nicely up in here. And then I could just close this unit up and everything fits nicely right here. I can attach the Joolca cover, which comes in handy when you're driving down those forestry roads and it could be really dusty or it might be raining, in which case everything's going to be protected under the cover. And one thing I should point out, air comes into the unit from the sides and the hot exhaust comes out of the top. So if you have an awning over here, that could be problematic. You would want to divert the heat. And so that is the ultimate on-demand hot water shower system for the Jeep Wrangler. Now I'm also considering making a DIY shower enclosure system that breaks apart and also fits into this storage area. So maybe you should consider subscribing and hitting the alert bell so you'll be notified when videos like that come out. Well, that's it for this week's episode of CheaperJeeperTV. I hope that you found it interesting. And if you did, how about giving the video a thumbs up? And if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button and the alert bell so you'll be notified when the next video is released. Until the next time, I'm Dino for CheaperJeeperTV. Be well, stay safe, take care.